Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison.
Catherine Engelbert. This may be the real reason why she is still in the league.
Another example of that is Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner made news. And Brittney Griner made news the other day because why?
Welcome back to the Buzzer Update. I hope today is going great for everyone. I have another thrilling and fascinating video for you today. With some startling allegations regarding Brittney Griner, Stephen A. Smith just threw a huge curveball at the WNBA's supposedly enlightened playbook, leaving the entire league reeling. Half-baked stories are not Stephen's style. When he speaks, it's either facts or nothing at all, and this one has folks speechless. Let's discuss what has been causing the rumors before we even discuss this purported DNA revelation. For some time now, fans have been ignoring Brittney's increasingly erratic on-court actions. Additionally, it seems like the pieces of the puzzle are finally fitting together when Stephen illuminated her. We're talking about abrupt outbursts of hostility toward other players, unexpected elbow swings, foul language, and uncensored online tirades that leave fans speechless. People have begun to ask the question as a result.
Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia, in a man's prison, which I had no idea.
Is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Caitlin Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittney's closet that she probably wants to.
Is Brittney the person she claims to be? The image being painted is anything but flattering, and the whispers are growing louder. What's in these enigmatic documents is the fundamental question at hand. And why does it appear that the WNBA is making a special effort to protect her? The tension is building because fans won't let this go. Brittney Griner has been under intense criticism from WNBA fans for the past few weeks due to her eyebrow-raising demeanor and on-court altercations. Additionally, this most recent disclosure may blow the roof off the entire affair. Stephen A. Smith's shocking remarks regarding Brittney Griner in a recent interview were what truly pushed the rumor mill into overdrive. The subject of Brittney's alleged bullying, particularly with regard to rising star Caitlin, came up during his interview on the Valuetainment podcast. To put it mildly, they didn't hold back. She was called out by Stephen and the other guests for being a blatant bully, displaying no appreciation, and behaving as though she was entitled to all the sport and the nation had ever given her. Then, however, came the moment that ignited the internet. Fans weren't prepared for what Stephen claimed to be shocking documents that revealed Brittney's true DNA. Now, the question is, how did Stephen obtain something like that? According to accounts, Brittney was subjected to a series of tests while incarcerated in Russia. The Russians also conducted a secret DNA study from the same samples, although the public was unaware of this. The whispers claim that the findings revealed certain unidentified genetic markers, characteristics that may account for the intense, nearly wild energy she has been displaying on the court for years. When compared to even the finest in the WNBA, Brittney's raw athletic power has always astounded people. People are now questioning whether skill and training are the only factors at play. Here's the worst part. No one has ever failed to notice her powerful physical style. Her teammates claim to have been injured during practice. Opponents frequently leave games with elbow injuries, as if they had just finished a few rounds in a boxing ring. I'm sure we've all seen the videos of Brittney attacking Caitlin Clark. It's true that basketball can be difficult. Even if bodies clash and elbows fly, a lot of athletes still end up with injuries. Brittney, on the other hand, emerges unscathed, unless, of course, her physical characteristics give her an advantage.
Who they let out to get her back.
The Merchant of Death.
The Merchant of Death. An arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out. For her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be ecstatic, you would be happy, and something like this wouldn't faze you at all. The fact that it does is disturbing. I'll leave it at that.
Players are unable to match. This is the problem. Men's and women's sports have always been kept apart for a reason. Weight, height, speed, stamina, recuperation times, and agility all vary depending on one's genetic makeup. What does it mean, then, If one player miraculously possesses exceptional strength and stamina that sets them apart from the others on the court, fans quickly began making connections and researching Brittney's past on their own. All those sporadic viral moments that had previously appeared to be innocuous oddities suddenly began to appear far more suspicious. Consider that notorious poolside video. Even though it seemed to show a woman completely nude in public, people are still perplexed as to why Instagram never reported it for nudity. To be clear, this has nothing to do with moral policing, virtue signaling, or challenging someone's identity. This has to do with facts and patterns. Because, let's face it, Instagram's rules would have taken effect right away if any other lady had shared that kind of video. No inquiries were made. This is the twist that caused the conversation to really pick up steam. Not only did Stephen A. Smith learn about those records, but he also obtained them and isn't exactly remaining silent. Fans were shocked and perplexed when Stephen shared his honest, unvarnished opinion of Brittney in a recent interview. Do you recall the time we were in prison in Russia? Stephen seemed to be teetering on the brink of saying far more than he was permitted to speak aloud when he brought it up. There was a lot of stress at the time. What he wasn't saying was practically audible. This is when things become even more unclear. Victor Bout, the notorious merchant of death, was traded for Brittney in a well-publicized prisoner exchange. People were buzzing just from that. However, Brittney's accusations are the real mystery.
In every sport, she described the fans. Yeah. It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act. In every arena. In every arena.
For possessing a minor quantity of cannabis and smuggling it. However, she was exchanged for a convicted guns dealer, charged with conspiring to kill innocent people. It didn't add up back then, and it certainly doesn't today. Supporters started to question why the US would execute such a lopsided trade unless there was more going on. And there certainly was, according to Stephen's cautious but laden statements. He alluded to layers in Brittney's exchange agreement that the public was never meant to see. People's eyes were raised by Stephen A.'s constant emphasis on Brittney's need for gratitude. It raised the possibility that the WNBA intervened to protect her from the consequences. This is the crazy part. Some people think that Brittney's true medical records, rather than the polished, league-friendly version, would have been revealed if she had spent even a little more time in that Russian prison.
Brittney, a few weeks ago, you fouled out of an Indiana Fever game. Cameras caught you saying something on the bench. It's hard to tell what you said. Can you tell us what you said?
I remember fouling out, being mad. I remember fouling out on, I believe it was Howard driving to the basket. They said I put my hand in. But hey, you never really happy with this game, so.
But what did you say?
I really can't remember what I said, honestly.
If I showed you the video, would that help?
No, it wouldn't help.
Would have been made public for everyone to see. Additionally, a lot of individuals seem to agree with Stephen based on the internet comments. I usually don't like Stephen A. Smith, but he nailed it here, someone commented. Perfectly done. If Griner is a woman, why was she in a Russian male prison? Said another. The questions just kept coming up. However, Stephen didn't end there. Additionally, he criticized Brittney for a previous outburst she had regarding the WNBA, which caused supporters to shake their heads. The quote has been circulating on the internet, and it doesn't look good. WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place, Brittney apparently remarked. Bring your laptop so you may unwind and perhaps even do some work. However, it seems like a lot of people are watching us from the stands right now. It's quite disgusting that some of them are saying insane things about what they're witnessing and unfairly pressuring us to score as if we're just there for their amusement. According to reports, she continued by saying, "The whole thing is toxic." She even remembered seeing a dad and his daughter shouting from the stands, but she wasn't sure if it was because of her game or some minor bigotry. In any case, that remark caused a stir on social media, and not in a positive way. It certainly sounded like one of those ridiculous comedic sketches. To be fair, the initial message did originate from a satirical meme account. Here's the worst part, though. Even though it was satire, some folks found it to be a bit too personal. The joke seemed to confirm what many people already thought about Brittney, particularly in light of Stephen A.'s most audacious statements to date. If Brittney really felt that way, it wasn't just disdain for the sport, in his opinion. It was an insult to both her fellow athletes who put their best into every game and the people who pay to watch her play. The true bomb was then dropped by Stephen. This was more than conjecture. He claimed to have documentation supporting the long-standing rumors that Brittney Griner may be violating one of the NBA's most important player eligibility regulations. The league was rocked by that news alone. After that, Brittney's actions on and off the court only seemed to become worse. When Caitlin Clark fouled her out of a game, it was the most talked-about incident. Brittney allegedly threw a slur at Caitlin after losing her temper. She said, "Whack effing call," according to some. Some say it was something far more intimate. Brittney, however, claims she doesn't even recall saying anything along those lines. In any case, the harm was done. Additionally, Brittney's public persona is becoming increasingly disorganized due to the circulating claims. And things became worse just when it didn't seem possible. Additionally, there is growing speculation that the league has protected Brittney as part of a larger behind-the-scenes plan. Consider it. Why didn't the WNBA do its own investigation if the Russians could determine something from a few tests? Is it possible that they already knew? And perhaps, just possibly, they chose to keep her safe in order to prevent the explosion that would occur if the truth were revealed. To be clear, none of these assertions have received formal confirmation. However, whether they are verified or not, people are sharing their thoughts on social media and treating them like breaking news. "Make her pay back every penny she's earned under false pretenses," said one commenter. That would be reasonable. Another inquired, wouldn't that be identity fraud or maybe even falsifying documents? And the excavation doesn't end there. People are now looking back at Brittney's previous encounters in an attempt to find hints they may have overlooked. Didn't any of her teammates think it was weird she never dressed down in the locker room? Someone commented, "That's simply weird after working with her for years." Everyone is aware that Stephen A. isn't the kind of person who would just walk away after dropping a bombshell. He's not just after Brittney, if he's correct. Everyone who allegedly shielded her is being targeted by him. And the WNBA may be facing the largest crisis in its history if this DNA leak proves to be authentic. The crazy part is that it appears Brittney may be the one thrown under the bus, scurrying to tidy up the mess while the league maintains its integrity. Is Brittney Griner truly more than meets the eye? Or is this just a social media fever gone crazy? Leave a comment with your ideas. Click like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. You won't want to miss the upcoming video, I promise.